What's up, Internet? Lately there has been some conversation about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which is by now done and over with, about whether it's actually useful or not. Now this is a question that people ask over and over and over whenever some sort of fundraising campaign or awareness campaign goes viral on the internet. And I think it's a valid question to ask. How much of an impact do people make when, for example, they change their Facebook profile picture to 2 pink stripes on a red background? What about when they like and share a Kony video? What about hashtag activism? Do hashtags actually do anything? I mean, what effect do people really have when it comes down to it? When all they do is tweet a photo asking hashtag whatever. And what about all those social justice vlogs? In general, the question is, does hopping into the viral awareness campaign bandwagon actually do anything to help? Again, people ask themselves this repeatedly, time and time again, whenever they learn of a new viral marketing campaign. And the answer, surprisingly, is it depends. It depends not on what the issue is, or on what the campaign is supposed to do, or even on the purpose of the campaign, whether it's to raise awareness or to prompt some sort of action, but it depends on the kind of actions that people can take in regards to that issue. Let's take the Kony 2012 awareness campaign from a few years back as a first example. It was wildly effective in the sense that it did raise awareness and it did show people that somewhere in Africa, over there was some dictator guy and he was kidnapping people and ravaging their countryside. And it gave people the option of donating to some sort of a Kony fund, which ended up being nothing more than a funnel to a non-profit to pay for administrative costs and production costs of the Kony documentary. The way to actually solve the Kony problem, or the problem of any warlord in the African region, would be to actually send troops. And sure, people could call their congressmen and lobby them and ask them to send troops for a specific purpose in a specific region, but that's not what the Kony campaign prompted people to do. It was about awareness, and that was it. It wanted to show people that something was happening, and in that sense, the campaign was successful, but it didn't really do anything to solve the problem, nor did it give people an option to be proactive and solve the problem. I mean, really, what are people going to do? Take a plane to Africa, form a militia, and fight their warlords over there? That's not going to happen. So in that sense, the Kony 2012 campaign was pointless and could be considered as one of the worst examples of slacktivism. Now, if we look at the Equal Rights awareness campaign from a few years back, that one prompted Facebook users, Twitter users, and people in social media to replace their profile picture with 2 pink lines on top of a red background. This was supposed to raise awareness about equal marriage, but that wasn't really the only purpose of that campaign. That campaign also asked people to do something. It asked people to call their legislators. It asked people to change their minds. And in the end, that campaign was, I think, pretty unsuccessful. Even though now we are seeing a wave of federal court decisions ruling equal marriage bans unconstitutional, the marriage equality viral marketing awareness campaign was mostly adopted by people who already shared that specific point of view. I find it really hard to believe that if someone is against equal marriage, that they would suddenly change their mind because one of their Facebook friends changed a profile photo. However, this is a local issue. It is something that theoretically people could do something about. It's easier to call your congressman about local rights issues than it is about mobilizing the army. And even if in some small part it's very possible that this campaign was a catalyst for movement, for people to do something about this issue, eventually leading to the current state of federal judges ruling marriage bans unconstitutional. Let's look at the ALS challenge for a bit. That's what we're here to do anyway, isn't it? Over at The Telegraph, Mr. Willard Foxton describes the Ice Bucket Challenge as, quote, a middle-class wet t-shirt contest for the armchair clicktivist. And even though over at Meltwater, Leslie Nuccio says that the Ice Bucket Challenge and slacktivism in general do have some sort of value, over at Vice, Ariel Prades states that dumping a bucket of ice on your head does not make you a philanthropist. And over at Twitter, there are a lot of people arguing that instead of doing the Ice Bucket Challenge, people should just shut up and donate. But the thing about the Ice Bucket Challenge is that not only does it tell people to take a challenge, if you look at the phrasing, people are usually prone to take up challenges, but it also suggests to the people taking the challenge that they should donate. The Ice Bucket Challenge isn't just about spilling water on your head, it's about donating. These two things go hand in hand. The purpose of the challenge was not just to raise awareness, but also to get people to donate. And has it been successful? Absolutely. Now, because of the viral marketing behind the Ice Bucket Challenge, pretty much everyone in the US and probably the Western world in general know what ALS is. Go check. More importantly, if you look at the donations to the ALS Association, their total revenue for the past 2 years has been at around $20 million. Thanks to the Ice Bucket Challenge, however, between July 29th and August 21st alone, the ALS Association managed to raise $53 million. And why was the Ice Bucket Challenge successful in actually accomplishing something, whereas the other two viral campaigns only managed to spread awareness? The reason is that it gave participants something to actually do. People were not just throwing water on themselves to make themselves feel better, but they were actually, so to speak, putting their money where their mouth is. Now, if we take the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge as a guide on how to do viral marketing, then what it tells us is that we need to do more than just ask people to share something for awareness. Whatever the campaign may be, it needs to make people aware of the cause, sure, but it also needs to make people interested in the cause. It needs to make people interested in helping to solve a problem, and it needs to tell people what they can do to actually solve the problem. Telling people to know that there's an African warlord out there somewhere is not telling people what they can do to help solve a problem. Telling people to put an equal sign on their Facebook status is not telling people what they can do to help what's perceived as a problem. Telling people throw ice water on yourselves and donate $10, that is telling people what they can do to help you solve a problem. And that's what viral marketing for awareness campaigns need to do. They need to help people become aware of an issue. They need to help people understand an issue. They need to help people see that there is a problem, and they need to show people what they can do to help fix the problem. So that's it for this video. I'll see you next time, where I will talk about a situation that took place in my home state of Puerto Rico with a certain doctor of medicine. I will see you then.